Next speaker for the day is architect Rohit Moro, landscape architect Rohit Moro, and this course is a 7-semester course, landscape architecture. It's on page 68 of the document.
Look at the landscape architecture subject, that is 7.7. Firstly, I think the objective is something that I would like to relook at. What the objective has been written is to introduce students to the discipline of landscape architecture and to develop basic skills required in handling simple landscape projects. I think maybe there has to be a slight twist to that itself. Landscape architecture itself, generally is taken a little lightly, I feel. Anyways, our prime concerns should be to address sensitivity to the site and to the environmental setting. The course should help the student to see how the building would respond to the site. It should also help widen understanding of spaces and the larger concerns beyond the site itself. So from there, what I would like to try and identify is the syllabus should be specific, so that it specific to the fact that it would get the student to understand what landscape architecture is all about, how does that relate to architecture, and then also to probably address the issue of being able to be aware of the subject to plan for specialization or for the for post-graduation programs. So from there we would I would go on to the various outlines that have been done. One is, only thing is I have restructured it a little bit. Introduction to landscape architecture. The introduction should be more towards definitions, more maybe terms used, landscape, maybe ecology, ecosystem, sustainability, green, walls, roofs, whatever, just to understand the terminology itself is the first basic thing, because a lot of times I find that, the terminology used in landscape, when people talk about landscape, seem to be a little warped. Then to also try and relate the landscape design with the architectural design, and then to try and understand the spatial design expression and scale of spaces. So this should be the basic introduction to landscape architecture. Going on further, we would look at elements in landscape. So first of all, to identify elements in landscape, I think we look at the larger picture, elements in nature. So that would be to try and look at the big picture itself, to understand landforms as hills, mountains, plains. Then to identify water as sea, rivers, lakes, streams, ponds. Vegetation as woodlands, forests, meadows, fields, grasslands. Then natural features like rock outcrop, cliffs, volcanoes, waterfalls, a variety. We could look at all of these and just to identify what their place is in nature and what they really do in nature as such. So just to give a general idea of all these elements, which again come down back again to in landscape design as elements again. So after this we try and go on to landscape design itself, elements in landscape design, their functions, their expressions. To look at landforms, what landforms would do, what are the various kinds of landforms that we would identify with. They could even be flat ground, level ground too, and what functions they could perform in terms of design, in terms of environmental functions too. Water features, what kind of feelings do water features evoke, and what are the different kinds of water elements, forms of water that you would see in terms of still water, dynamic water, and what what expressions they would evoke from the user. Going on to vegetation, just to identify plant material, not from the point of view of the names of the plants. I think that's meant for a much higher level of study. But to be able to identify that plant material is seen as design from the design perspective, as what is the structure of plant material, how do we look at them? They come in various sizes, forms, structures themselves. The structures too vary considerably, the textures vary, colors, and to be able to only identify them and see how they reflect in design. To surface textures as such, meaning that what is the cover, surface cover, land cover that we would try and work with. It starts with plain grassed surface as such, as lawns that you would see, maybe any kind of paving material that we would use, even gravel, even hard ground. So what each of these textures would mean in terms of design. Site furniture, to be able to identify what site furniture actually means, and what are their functions, and how do you approach site furniture in design. Play zones as such, play zones are mainly as play fields. One is to be able to identify the sizing of play fields, then also the drainage of play fields, and alignment of play fields, the directions that we would need to set them up for. Understanding, this is something that is not there in the syllabus that has been given to me, but I think this needs to be added on to be able to, just the understanding of basics of landform and drainage. Over the years, of course, I've had a lot of architects who've come in and worked with in our firm, and I see on an average a larger percentage of architects coming in are not clear about the basics of landform and drainage itself. What I mean is to be able to just work on exercises of reading simple contour plans. You could take the level of the contour plans to whatever level, if there's already, I think, a surveying, is there a surveying subject? So yes, that kind of gives you a basic understanding of how to survey, but to understand what they do, how you would read the contour plans is what I think we should need to elaborate a little bit. Simple things like identifying high points, low points, valleys, ridges, these would definitely start giving you a three-dimensional effect of the contour plans themselves. Again, to understand cut and fill, how do you cut, how do you fill, and how does the whole thing work, and how is it stabilized, at what level would it be stabilized. Again, to understand slopes also, at certain slopes, how do you respond to the slopes, what are the kinds of activities can happen at certain degrees of slopes, can you build on a certain degree, can you put in a road on a certain degree. These are basics of understanding of landforms, and beyond this, what happens is once you understand the landforms, you automatically start understanding the drainage. Drainage is basically the surface runoff that would happen on any kind of any piece of land. To be able to understand that there is a slope and the water would be drained in a particular way, there are valleys formed. So once you know the valleys, you know that the water is going to flow into these areas. So we need to be able to just give that clear impression of the basic of landform and drainage. So this is something that I suggest that we should add into the into the syllabus itself. Then going on to say site planning, just basic understanding again here to be able to understand definitions of site planning. What exactly does it mean? What are the various connects that go on to site planning, the various studies that you would do on landforms, slopes, hydrology, vegetation, natural features, microclimate, fauna, visual resources in and around the site. All these to be able to understand, to be able to read. These are only not complete exercises that you would need to do out here, but to be able to understand that you can study any piece of land from these points, and then try and see how we can overlay them and try and see how this would work best for any kind of development development. So the analysis part of it also comes in straight away once you've done the studies. So these are just only introductions. Maybe it could be a small exercise in studio form to, but a very small tiny exercise to be able to, only to be able to relate to and connect to it than to really go into depths, because it can on its own be a one single course for the full semester. I would say design studies, to be able to now probably a little bit of studio work that would come in into the whole curriculum syllabus. A study to analyze designed landscapes, understand concepts, their expressions as such, to present. It could be any kind of design landscape. Maybe it could be some architects, landscape architects' work, or any kind of project that you would probably come across in the city. Make the studies, do the studies, and then present the study as more as a seminar, as a talk, that what have you learned from it, how you understood it, and how you put it together. What I would also try and look at is to be able to each semester as to invite professionals basically to come in and teach and do some talks out here. I think in many ways I would see that it could be inspiring for the students also to be able to relate to all that has been taught to them in terms of projects that a professional would probably be able to show. Then to be able to take up existing design programs, in terms of design, to be able to take existing architectural design programs and not have a standalone design program to look at maybe in the same 7th semester if there's an architectural program, architectural design program, or maybe the 6th semester architectural design program, to take it to another level, look at focus on integrating the landscape with the architectural design as such, and to be able to understand how this integration happens. Now all this can be integrated, you can also integrate all the learning from the various lectures that you would have gone through into this design at this stage. A case study, yes, would be good to be able to. I would even look at probably identifying everyday spaces and everyday landscapes, maybe much smaller, small spaces that probably you come across on a daily basis as such, and to be able to understand them, present them in sketches, maybe verbal descriptions. It just could be even verbal descriptions too, and then identify their spatial characteristics, the place making, how they would relate to a specific location, and put them together as more as a small presentation and a talk, maybe more as a review program that we could try and work on. In addition to that, I think I would think that we would need to do is to be able to understand, maybe as one lecture itself, to understand softscapes, hardscapes that happen on buildings, which I think probably is very, very important, because all these, all the architects come in, but they really don't know what really goes into probably making a green roof, or probably making a green wall, or even to try and look at a large podium area that has been given, that you have provided, and it needs to be a huge garden. Just to understand that there is a certain depth that is required in terms of media fill that we need to do, identify a certain kind of loading that needs to be taken into consideration. So there's a structural implications to it, and also the other major thing is the drainage itself. What are systems of drainage of water from slabs, from walls, how we can make sure that our slabs are not leaking, or the walls are not wet, and we can keep a comparatively dry surface on the inside as such. That's about it, I think, and I'm in the profession, yes, but I have not really had any kind of teaching experience in the last 20 years, I think. Thank you.